one of the best drivers around. He's 0 for 16 here.
I thought a draft was sucked up a lot better. The tire temps look good.
Cuban-born Felix Sabates owns 2 cars in the race. They're part of his American dream and his NASCAR nightmare. Darrell Waltrip did win here 10 years ago. Now he finds himself in car 66. A new car, a new team assembled just 10 weeks ago. Still getting to know each other.
Use your radio, talk calm down is what he needs to do.
Crew Chief Todd Parrott was 32, young by stock car standards, when he built the winning car in '96. But his dad was a crew chief, and he knows the game.
I asked him, so what's it going to take? He said, just give me where I got a little more speed down the straightaway.
These are the men, the cars, the stories we followed in the days leading up to and through the race. Where they were, we were. Away from the pack and inside the scene.
You angry at all? A little bit.
And inside the sounds.
The whole defender!
Of the great American race.
The Daytona 500. Cars go around a 2.5-mile tri-oval in 40 seconds, side by side, 190 miles an hour. Over 200,000 fans are screaming, but you can't hear them. Not when the cars are flying by. Every car, every owner, every crew chief, and I promise you, every driver has the same thing in mind, taking that checkered flag. That's the whole deal. That's the Daytona 500.
And that's the king, Richard Petty, 7-time winner of the Daytona 500. In the 41st running, Jeff Gordon claimed the race for the 2nd time in 3 years. But it wasn't easy. Then again, it never is. In the next hour, you'll see why when you live 4 dramatic days with a driver, an owner, a crew chief, and a car. Reese Davis begins our report on Thursday with 2 qualifying races that will help determine Sunday's 43-car field.
6 a.m.
Good morning.
6.5 hours before the Twin 125 qualifying races. Todd Parrott, the crew chief for the car driven by Dale Jarrett, makes his way just a few hundred yards from his motorhome parked in the infield to the garage, where he'll begin preparing his car.
So when you're walking in this morning, what's on your mind? What's the first thing you want to do to the car?
Get the cover off of it. Check out the boys.
Much like an NFL head coach, Parrott is in charge of this team, responsible for all aspects of the car's performance except driving it.
I mean, you have to pay attention to all the details. Every little thing that you do, I mean, from how you put a tire wrap on a brake line or how you change the tires, set the car up. You might have to get up underneath there, take that bolt out. Voila, clean windshield. Drill and tap the aluminum, and then put the red nuts in the side. This year we come down here with a lot more confidence that, you know, we got the car to beat for the Daytona 500.
In his first race as a Winston Cup crew chief in 1996, Parrott's car won the Daytona 500. Not a bad start for a rookie trying to win the confidence of his driver.
From yesterday, you know, the shock changes we made, and taking the rebound out should take the car up.
How much have you seen him grow since that first year together?
Well, I think the biggest thing that I've seen are his communication skills with the people. He's always been good around people, but being thrown into a new situation of where you're in charge of this entire race team, plus these guys spend all this time together on the road, away from their families, they can get at each other's throats every once in a while. So he has a lot of jobs to do besides be a crew chief.
Being a crew chief is the family trade. Next to Todd's stall in the garage is one of the 2 teams managed by his father, Buddy. The elder Parrott was the winning crew chief in the Daytona 500 9 years ago when he guided Derek Cope to an improbable victory.
We don't talk racing. We don't talk springs and shocks because he understands where I came from. I've never been a person to go around another car. We're lined up side by side, as you see, and we're going to race them real hard, and but then we're going to be father and son at 5 or 6 o'clock.
James, you going to push it?
In Thursday's mid-morning meeting for the 66 car crew, Three-time Winston Cup champion Darrell Waltrip still trying to figure out who's doing what on race day.
Any questions?
What is everybody doing?
Phil's going gas.
I'm gonna change the rear tire. Rear tire.
I'll change the front tire.
I'm gonna change the front tire.
Waltrip's Get Acquainted session is the product of driving a new car for a new team. Daytona 500 will be the debut for the 66. They hope. The car's been slow in practice, so Waltrip's status as the former Winston Cup champ may be the only chance the car has to get in the field.
There you go. It's initial on there. That way you'll know if I mess with it.
Inspection time. Officials go over every car, which must conform to strict NASCAR standards. It's the crew chief's job to find an edge any way he can.
It's part of our job, you know, to try to take everything to the max. You know, the front valence, try to get it as low as we can. You know, the roof as low as we can, the quarter pounds as low as we can, spoiler as low as we can. And it's just part of it.
The part that can cause anxious moments for crew chiefs and owners who hope and pray that their machines pass.
Going like this. It's a room of doom.
Felix Sabates is the owner of Team Sabco. Sterling Marlin and Joe Nemechek are the drivers for his entries, but the flamboyant, self-made millionaire believes there's always room for new talent. Like actor Paul Newman, who co-owns an open-wheel team on the kart circuit.
Welcome to NASCAR.
Thank you.
Welcome to NASCAR. You want to drive one of these cars?
I'll try to do anything. One.
You can be my driver.
Even driver Rusty Wallace, who needs no introduction to NASCAR fans, must be at introductions. That's a lesson Wallace learned the hard way in the Bud Shootout, the race the week before the 500. Wallace was sent from his pole position to the rear of the field for missing mandatory driver introductions. He took precautions this week.
I got my watch 5 minutes fast, so I don't screw up.
Today's races are 50 laps in length, 125 miles. They are qualifying races for the 500.
The 66 car with Darrell Waltrip behind the wheel is in the first of the two qualifying races.
Waltrip hung out to the inside of the racetrack, trying to find his way back in line, but can't for the time being. He'll shuffle back to 11th, 12th, 13th, now find his way back in line, and 14th as he hits turn 3.
Waltrip finished 17th, which does not automatically earn him a starting spot on Sunday.
And that's where all this sweat came from. It's not that hot out there. It's sweating getting in the race.
With a half hour between races, Felix Sabates celebrates his driver Sterling Marlin's qualifying in style.
A hot dog and a Diet Coke, got Pepsi.
After lunch, he turns his attention to the second race and his other driver, Joe Nemechek, who'll battle, among others, Rusty Wallace and Todd Parrott's number 88 car.
This is going to be the closest thing we'll see to the Daytona 500.
Don't worry.
I'm all right. We'll be fine.
Usually your first race is a lot wilder than the second race. Second race is always a little calmer. Let's hope.
Moments before the green flag, Parrott gives his driver, Dale Jarrett, a send-off.
Be careful. You know what to do.
100 feet away from the line, green flag goes in the air, and we are underway.
Earnhardt still leads. Jarrett looks at it from second.
About halfway through, is it running on a rail just like you thought it would?
Yeah, he said the car's better today than it was yesterday, so I guess all that little bit of sleep I lost last night, some changes that we all made this morning, it's paid off.
Jarrett makes it 3 wide, goes to the inside of Joe Nemechek, grabs the spot there.
Oh, come on, Joe!
Earnhardt's going to pull away because it's 2 by 2 for second. Mayfield, with help from Wallace, drawing to the inside of Dale Jarrett.
As they go double wide for second, Dale Earnhardt comes to the stripe. For a 10th year in a row, he wins his Gatorade 125. It's Mayfield over Jarrett at the stripe for second.
Good job, man. Good job, guys. Prepared an awesome car there. We'll get them Sunday. That's when it counts.
Yet Parrott is upset that Rusty Wallace in the 2 car and his teammate in the 12 car, Jeremy Mayfield, didn't draft with fellow Ford driver Jarrett to help him make a run at the Chevrolet of Dale Earnhardt. As a result, Jarrett was edged out for second place by Mayfield. He voiced his frustration to his crew chief.
Yeah, he was a lot of help. I remember that, too. 10-4. Remember what I told you. You ain't got no help. We ain't got no friends. That's okay.
The 2 and the 12 are sitting there with their teammates, so obviously they're going to work together. So It's every man for himself.
But you need a little help here.
You need a little help. Oh, yeah, you got to have help, drafting help here if you want to win the race.
Sunday, Jarrett will start 8th between Mayfield and Wallace on the outside row. Sabates' 2 cars are middle-of-the-pack starts, and the 66 car made it, but will start last. Darrell Waltrip used his status as a past champion to qualify. But starting spots aren't Jarrett's concern, as he and Parrott envision victory Sunday.
See, Earnhardt, he don't like to be back, but that's where he's going to finish. How's that?
That looks good.
Yeah. And then it might come like this. We don't want that to happen.
No. Did that right rear turn out okay? Right back?
Yeah.
What's wrong?
11, 12 hours later, it's the most important thing you learned today.
I learned that we had a very good race car for the Daytona 500. The car drafted real well. It's fast. It drives real good. And the changes we made this morning were right on the money of what I thought they were going to do. And now it's hurry up and wait for 3 more days till the Daytona 500 gets here. Love, baby. She don't know.
The carefree moments here are to be enjoyed because it can all end so fast.
I haven't been afraid yet. I really haven't. I mean, the biggest thing I'm scared of is fire. If I'm upside down and on fire and can't get out of that car quick enough, that would scare me.
Up next, the driver, Rusty Wallace, defying fear and frustration, having never won this race.
If this is you, this is your rush hour. This is your corner office. This is your blankie. Finally, communications is caught up with the way you live. Introducing AT&T Personal Network. Now all the ways you want to communicate in one network for a low monthly fee. Long distance, calling card, even wireless calls, it doesn't matter because they're at the same rate of just 10 cents a minute. Plus internet access. And AT&T Personal Network brings it all together with one monthly bill, one number to call for more personalized service, and the same low rate, just 10 cents a minute for your calls, including wireless. Just call 1-800-4ATT now or visit our website to get your AT&T Personal Network. This is your reality. This is your reality check. And now this is your network. Call 1-800-4ATT now and change forever the way you communicate.
Out here, you don't worry about running out of gas. You worry about running out of dirt.
Folklore has it, the spices they cook with in the West Indies are aphrodisiacs. As if in a place like this, you need any help. Royal Caribbean, like no vacation on earth.
Thank you. Morning, ESPN, 644, 6 license, 4644. ESPN.
6 feet 1. All world from the University of Hawaii, the titan of the keyboard, his highness of the highlight, Larry
ESPN. Thank you. Morning, ESPN.
Outside the Lines, Days of Daytona is presented by AT&T Personal Network. Communications has finally caught up with the way you live.
Good Friday morning. It's 8:32 at 96.5 WHTQ.
Yeah, Rusty Wallace.
We're listening to Rubberhead.
Hey, man, what you got for him Sunday?
Tell you what have I got for him Sunday? I think I got a lot for him Sunday, man. I've got a good car. It's flying down here in Daytona. Everything's been going really good, and God, the entire team has just been humbling.
So begins Friday for fast walking, fast talking Rusty Wallace. One place to the next, always. Now to practice. The morning after qualifying 10th for Sunday's race.
We got a brand new setup in the car right now. And I'll know if it works right off the bat. If it doesn't work, I'll bring it right back in. But if it's working, I'll stay running for a while.
He makes a few quick laps before returning to the garage for some tweaking of the shocks and springs. Then, he does run a while.
Thinking haul ass, it was running good. I thought the draft had sucked up a lot better. The tire temps look good. I'll look at the tire wear when we get back in and see how hard it's wearing them. That's the longest run we made. Was it 35 lap run or 30 lap run?
Yeah, it's 33 laps.
The 66 car doesn't have it so good. After barely making the race, an air of anxiety. Crew member Rodney Rhodes notices Bill Elliott's car, one he used to work on.
That full car's pretty damn good.
So you gonna miss that your chance to get a ring?
Looks like Austin Bill's got that thing tuned in.
I asked him, so what's it going to take? He said, just get me where I got a little more speed down the straightaway.
Todd Parrott's post-practice assessment sounds positive.
I mean, got more tape on the bottom. He was tucked up in a tight draft, and temperatures are cooler.
Shortly before 11, Wallace is at it again. Like he says, Daytona's a place where you stand on the gas and walk fast.
But you can see this week in Daytona, we're covering a lot of ground in a short period of time.
You walk more miles or drive more miles?
That's a good question. I don't know if I walk or drive more, but I know that I'm doing a lot of both.
If he never said no, the interviews would never end. Television, newspaper,
radio.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Oh, it's going, having a good time. Where do you want me to sit at?
There.
Right here, okay?
Right there.
Sure.
NASCAR has a reputation for being fan-friendly, and few are friendlier than Rusty Wallace. Equipped with his own felt-tip pen, he's prepared to sign anything.
Thank you very much.
A young Wallace fan with a stock car legend, 88 Daytona winner Bobby Allison.
My hero. On all the short tracks I ever ran around the United States, before I was in Winston Cup racing, they would always bring Bobby in to be kind of a hired gun to put a show on and stuff like that. And Bobby was killing everybody in Winston Cup back then. And he would always stop and talk to me. He always took me under his wing and tried to help me. In fact, Bobby sold me one of his cars, and I didn't have hardly any money at all. He said, "Take the car, kid." He said, "When you're famous, pay me back."
Did you pay him back?
Yes, I did.
It was a $10,000 deal, and it didn't take long for Wallace to pay him back, or to get famous. He broke into the circuit in 1980, and by '89, he'd won the Winston Cup Championship. 48 Cup wins in all, most coming on the shorter tracks. But he has yet to win on the superspeedways at Talladega and Daytona. In 16 tries here, he's never won the 500.
Well, I think about it a lot, but in the past, I don't think I was ever prepared to win Daytona. I had good cars, but that's what they were, good cars. They weren't great cars. And to win the Daytona 500, you got to have a great team and a great car. But I just didn't feel like I deserved it yet. I didn't feel like I was organized enough. I didn't feel like I had a real hot rod to win the thing.
He did have a hot rod in '93 and a chance to win with 15 laps to go.
No way I could have went high and avoided it. I had to go to the bottom and try to outrun him. And they got me by the last 6 inches. And it hit the car so hard, it spun it around. The left side tires dug in the ground, and it started barrel rolling. Man, when you blow down that back straightaway over 200 miles an hour and you go end over end 16 times, you walk out of the car and brush yourself off, you got to say, that's lucky. I haven't been afraid yet. I really haven't. I mean, the biggest thing that I'm scared of is fire. If I'm upside down and on fire and can't get out of that car quick enough, that would scare me. A wreck doesn't scare me. Being burned to death in a car would scare me. I watched that happen in Charlotte one year, and I didn't like what I saw there.
48 hours from this Daytona, these remain vivid but distant memories as Wallace prepares for Friday's International Race of Champions. It's a battle of top drivers from various forms of auto racing. Among them is Jeff Gordon, NASCAR's superstar and Sunday's pole sitter, the one Wallace and the rest will chase on Sunday. But first, there's the matter of today's race.
Number one goal is running Winston Cup. So I had to think long and hard whether I wanted to accept the invitation for the series. Because everybody jumps on it immediately, but you got to look at the pitfalls. If you get hurt in these things, it screws the whole year up.
Wallace is not hurt when he's knocked out of contention and the race on lap 8. After a mandatory stop at the infirmary, Wallace watches the rest of the race from his motorhome.
You angry at all?
A little bit.
With another driver, just the result?
Just the result, just the right. It's the circumstance. If you're going to get angry, you just can't do that.
It's a whole lot different Sunday, though, right?
Sunday's the whole deal.
At 5:30 Friday, across the street from the track, Darrell Waltrip's deal was satisfying his sponsor. This driver of the 66 hasn't won a race since 1992, but an adoring public is more than willing to wait for Waltrip's autograph. With a touch of flu, owner Felix Sabates skips Friday's Daytona practice for the first time in 15 years. But it doesn't keep him from attending 3 different sponsors' parties that night.
I don't have any choice.
Really?
I mean, those are just sponsors and they're expected to be there. If I got to go in a wheelchair, I go in a wheelchair, but I'm going.
Wallace ends his day doing the same for one of his sponsors, while his wife Patty waits with patience, a virtue the fast-talking, fast-walking Wallace says he doesn't have.
I'm a real impatient person. I want everything to happen yesterday, and if it doesn't happen yesterday, I don't understand it.
Wallace may drive the car, but those sponsors drive the bus. The big ones, the primary sponsors for a team, can spend from $8 to $12 million a year on a car, and in the world of advertising, it may be a good deal. It's estimated that the Winston Cup Series provided $1.2 billion in brand name exposure during all televised races in 1998. Now, those with the major sponsors are the haves in this sport. Those without are the have-nots. But sometimes, as Marlo Klain reports, the two come together, if only for a race.
Owner Junie Dunleavy arrived at his 41st Daytona with a primary sponsor, a reported $5 million deal with Big Daddy's Barbecue. But when the deal fell through, Dunleavy pulled Big Daddy's and their rookie driver from the team. He replaced him with veteran Mike Wallace and a car without a main sponsor for Thursday's Twin 125 qualifying races.
29 cars ready to get down to it, hoping to get a spot at the Daytona 500, buddy.
6 of the 7 teams without main sponsors don't qualify for Sunday's race, but Dunleavy's number 90 car makes it, unsponsored, but for how long?
Do you feel like you're in the catbird seat as far as just kind of waiting this out and seeing if some people come to you and give you a little more money this weekend to run their decals on your car?
Well, I'm not really out there looking for anything. If I can do a favor for another team, if they need their help, then we'll be glad to do it.
We've gone under the caution flag for the first time in this second Gatorade 125, an incident down in turn 1.
Kodiak Tobacco desperately needs Dunleavy's help. The 41 car crashed 25 laps into the second qualifier.
I mean, David Green is probably not going to be in the Daytona 500. He is 46th.
Soon afterwards, Kodiak team owner Larry Hedrick arrives at Dunleavy's hauler.
Junie, you know we didn't make the race, and we need to have our Kodiak out there on the track, and wondered if you had anything going that might prevent you and I from talking about maybe helping me out for this race.
No, I haven't got a thing going. You know good and well that whatever you need, we'll do for you.
The Daytona race is such a critical race. It's our Super Bowl, as you well know, to start the year off, and he didn't have a sponsor, and man, it's just like a match to be made.
The Daytona 500 is the championship of sponsorship. Last year, racing's highest-rated telecast provided an estimated $77 million in combined commercial exposure value for the sponsors involved. So it's not a surprise when the offers keep coming Dunleavy's way.
Now listen, when you get your car all done with all your sponsorship on it, Three Stooges would like to go in there a little bit someplace. So when you got a little bit of room left, you want a few thousand, let me know, and I'll try to get you and them put together and maybe get something worked out.
Okay.
A one-race sponsorship deal at Daytona can cost anywhere from $30,000 to $150,000. But Dunleavy shakes hands with his longtime friend Hedrick for only some used tires and possible help in the future.
A friend is a whole lot more important than money anyway. You spend the money and you don't have any friends, you're in bad shape. I'd rather have a friend than no money.
And put the big one across the deck lid, that way we can use the hood for Kodiak.
So for this race only, the Dunleavy car is partially transformed into the Kodiak car. And where there was once just paint, there is now advertising for Kodiak and other sponsors looking for space in the race.
Thank you very much. Good luck. We appreciate it. I want to be invited to the winner's circle victory, okay?
To Felix Sabates, standing in victory lane is no laughing matter. To him, racing is serious, big-budget business. Next, Shelley Smith with a Cuban-born owner encouraging others to get in the game and chase a uniquely American dream.
Excuse me.
Carson Toyota has asked me to do a little work on the monthly payments on these new Camrys.
Right now, $99 a month puts you behind the wheel of a loaded Camry LE at Carson Toyota. Loaded with automatic, air, full power, tilt, cruise, and more. And Carson Toyota has a huge selection of Camrys to choose from, starting as low as $99 a month.
Carson Toyota, just off the 405 freeway at the Wilmington exit in Carson.
Time Warner Communications scores. National Hockey Night Live, Sundays in February at 5 on ESPN and Time Warner Communications.
Emotions run high on ESPN. First at 7:30. Throw the records out in this bitter Big Ten rivalry. Mateen Cleaves and the highly ranked Spartans go toe-to-toe with Lewis Bullock and the Maize and Blue. At 9:30, the golden touch of Neil Reed. The all-around skills of Quentin Richardson. A Conference USA showdown. Michigan State, Michigan at 7:30. DePaul Southern Miss at 9:30. Tomorrow on ESPN. Wow!
Saturday morning begins with a chill. Todd Parrott's crew awaits the return of its engine, sent to its shop in Charlotte on Thursday to be rebuilt.
The weather change, isn't it?
You guys were first.
Huh?
Steve! Hey, Steve! Steve! First in the garage this morning.
They were?
They were. Where?
The very first. Is that right? Cool.
The yacht Monte Carlo is docked in Daytona for the race. Its owner, Felix Sabates, still battling the flu, begins his morning by heading to yet another appearance, this one in Victory Lane with John Wayne's son, Michael.
It's hard for me to say a few words, but I'm going to say just a few words because I want Michael in the microphone.
Sabates unveils the Duke, a car that is scheduled to run in 2 Winston Cup events this season.
You know, the main reason for doing this is to raise money for the John Wayne Cancer Institute. We hope to raise several $100,000 from this car. And you people out there, if you want to write a few checks and put a few bucks over there, we'd take it today, too.
Sabates grew up in Cuba. As a 16-year-old, he moved to the United States when Fidel Castro came into power. The self-described, self-made millionaire many times over arrived in this country with $25 in cash and 2 boxes of cigars.
Yeah, I started in 1963. I went to work for this gentleman that was a wonderful man, and 4 years later, he decided he wanted to retire. And he sold me the business, which was a small company at the time. And I just got lucky. You know, we got involved with a lot of new ventures, like we got involved with Atari and Teddy Ruxpin and Compaq Computers and Nintendo when they were all growing. So it's not like, you know, I'm not good, I'm just lucky. This is a small one.
That's a small one.
Well, yeah, smaller one. Last year was 156. So now we're smaller.
30.
We cut him back.
Yeah.
We cut him back. Yeah.
Well, it's a pretty nice place to stay, you know?
Well, it beats the local Howard Johnson.
I suppose so. A love of Richard Petty turned Sabates into a racing fan, and once he amassed his fortune, an owner who hasn't forgotten how far he's come. Every Thursday before the Daytona 500, he hosts a lavish party on the yacht for his racing crews.
I don't want to walk in there and Mr. Hot Shot, you know, I'm a rich guy and they're not. You know, if they want me to do something with them, I'll do it. And I don't think you'll ever have anybody that ever worked for me that said that I tried to play big shot with them. I tried to be just like they are.
We're coming out of turn 4. It's starting to speed up.
The crew for the 66 car maps out plans for Saturday afternoon's final 60-minute practice. It's known as happy hour.
And this shows you the whole run. So I can play this as many times and look at any part of the race car that I want to make my decision what we're going to do. Then I write down all my notes of what I think we need to do in happy hour and what changes. And then I'll give that to Donnie Disher and the crew chief. And then him and I and Darrell will decide what changes we're going to make.
Rusty Wallace rebounds from his wreck in Friday's race by chauffeuring teammate Jeremy Mayfield to a sponsor event.
We think it's our turn to win, and we want to go after it.
Hi, Father.
Thank you.
Give him a check.
Yes, thank you.
See, I sent him a little money every year, so he's a traveling priest.
Yeah,
Like,
right. Yeah,
like
right.
this.
Yeah. That's good.
Somebody told me, I told somebody the other day, so well, he's our priest. And he goes, well, how come he doesn't wear a collar? He said, he does. Well, there it is. He just wears little stripes on him.
A Winston Cup owner since 1988, Sabates considers himself the mayor of the garage, who foresees prosperity by trying to help his sport grow. This weekend, Sabates is hosting Hall of Fame linebacker Willie Lanier and Lanier's business partner, another Hall of Famer, Jim Brown. The two called Sabates for advice a year ago when they became interested in buying a Winston Cup car to race next season. Sabates says their entrance into the sport would bring a valuable African-American presence.
Jim Brown's pretty committed. I mean, he's putting a lot of time and effort into it, and I think they get it done.
Lanier and Brown would be the first African-Americans to own a car running in the Daytona 500, where some fans flew the Confederate flag this week and where some were overheard making racist comments. Sabates says he's never felt discriminated against as a Latino in racing.
What you have today is not what you had 40 years ago. If you go in the grandstand, you see the guy, you don't have Bubba in the grandstand anymore. You have Mr. Jones that has a job, but it used to be, it was Bubba, and maybe the KKK came around and had rallies around racetracks, but that doesn't happen anymore. I mean, the fans today are educated fans, the sophisticated fans.
Early Saturday afternoon before the Napa 300, Sabates visits Adam Petty, who he says is like a grandson.
Guys, I just came over to say hello. You did good, and we've been pulling for you.
All right, man.
Okay?
Thanks, bud.
See you.
Yeah, man.
Petty finishes 5th. As for cars preparing for tomorrow's 500, Parrott and his crew continue to make adjustments.
This bar, I want to pull down when the radiator's sitting in there. You know what I'm saying? When you got it on the plate and all that stuff's done, make sure them bars are pulling down on the radiator like it's over here. See how that is? See how the bar runs straight?
Right.
And now it's time for happy hour.
I hate happy hour.
Yeah. I think just about everybody that works on the happy hour, the stomach gets turned.
Because nothing good comes out of happy hour.
It's drivers, what you were explaining yesterday?
Well, because no matter what you do, the driver's going to say the car wasn't good enough. They chase them. A lot of times, the drivers in happy hour, they start chasing the ghost. And they chase it so much, by the time you get through it, they will screw the car up, they can't drive the next day. Sometimes you're better off, you just put the cover on it and you just go racing.
Happy hour, the last practice, the last chance for the 66 to get it right.
You couldn't tell nothing. None of that helped. If anything, it hurt. If anything, it hurt it.
Hurt President, yeah, he hurt speed.
Didn't do anything for my problem, and it hurt the speed.
I'm going to the movies. Hey.
Philips High Definition Home Theater.
For Dan and Lisa, it just clicked. So they loaded up their Ford Expedition and got back to doing what they loved, answering the call of the wild.
I lost them.
And they unleashed a beast of their own. That big 5.4-liter Triton V8.
Gotcha.
And you thought Little Red Riding Hood got a close look. Ford Expedition. Built Ford tough.
So you need a mortgage.
Yeah, but we don't really have any, collateral.
Well, no collateral's really not a problem for us. In fact, that's our motto. All right, once you sign here and you're all set.
This is actually more than we need.
I threw in a little extra.
So what's the interest rate?
0, if that's comfortable.
If getting a mortgage were this easy,
You need a bag for this?
you wouldn't need Century 21. Real estate for the real world. Ask about our Connections program. For an office, call 1-800-4HOUSES.
Hey, what's in the jars?
Remove your shoes.
Come on, fight! That's the problem.
How about these?
Those will work.
The top hitters on the senior tour gather in Florida to tee it up in the GTP Classic. Coverage begins Friday at 2 on ESPN.
I won the Daytona 500. I won the Daytona 500.
Darrell, how long?
Wait. This is the Daytona 500, isn't it? Don't tell me it isn't. Thank God.
That was 10 years ago. Now Darrell Waltrip is driving the 66. The car and the crew were assembled hastily in December. As Jeremy Schaap reports, Saturday afternoon, Team 66 was still playing catch-up during happy hour.
What time is it?
22.
I got 20 minutes. Let's make the trial run here and see how everything works.
Okay.
As happy hour's about to begin, the jury in the trial of the 66 car is still out. Darrell Waltrip and his crew have one final hour of practice, one final chance to squeeze from the 66 a few more miles per hour.
We've tested here a couple of times. We've been here for almost 2 weeks. We've been on the racetrack a lot. That 1 hour is the most critical hour of all those times put together, because that is what, when it's all over with, what you see is what you get.
785. How's your car?
10 weeks ago, there was no car or crew. Now, less than a day before the 500, the car and the crew are still just rounding into shape.
When you have nothing, it's like building a house. You build a foundation with just a piece of concrete. Then you start putting the boards up and the walls up, and the first thing you know is say, hey, this thing's starting to take shape. Well, that's the way these things are.
Can you live in this house now?
Oh, yeah. It's, there's some amenities that we don't have, but maybe the trash compactor's missing and the dishwasher don't work, but, you know, we got curtains on the wall, on the windows, and we got a driveway.
The house Todd Parrott shares with Dale Jarrett, the 88 car, is, on the other hand, palatial. Everything's working. 88's final tune-up is indeed a happy hour.
Car feel pretty good out front.
Yeah. Felix Sabates' house is also in order. With Sterling Marlin running well, the dread Sabates felt as happy hour approached disappears.
Yeah, and Sterling looks really, really good. If we don't have an engine problem or do something stupid to beat ourselves, we might have a shot to win the race.
You feel good then?
Yeah. It's the first time I felt good in 10 days.
After a few disappointing trips around the track, the 66 car returns to the garage.
It's got too much bite in it, bud.
Okay.
What, you gonna put in a 3/8?
Some quick adjustments are made, the correct setup is still elusive, and then it's back to the track.
Do you like this car?
Yes. Yes, I do.
You're not in love, though.
It's been the thing I like about this car the whole time I've been here, it's a good driving car. It handles well. And that's a problem, tickles me to death, but normally they don't go fast when they drive good. They gotta, you need to be working a little harder. You need to be kind of fighting with it a little bit if it's gonna go fast. And then that's not to say you're out of control, but most guys will tell you, if the driver says it's driving good, we need to work on it.
Happy hour down the back straight.
Waltrip and rookie crew chief Donnie DeSharoon are still working on it and still struggling even as happy hour winds down.
Okay, you gonna want to make a change and go back out? I don't think we got enough fender on the car now, for one thing. Agree, disagree, 10-4, okay, that's not a good idea, bad idea, come back, please. I'm coming, buddy. I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, it sounds like a good idea, but what I was thinking is, you know, open that top up again, maybe close a little bit of the bottom, too, to help it also. Just come back to me, buddy, so I don't feel like I'm out here by myself. I'm sitting here right with you, buddy.
Despite its name, Happy Hour is rigidly structured. The track is open for an hour and not a minute more. With the clock ticking down, Rusty Wallace and his crew are racing to get out of the garage for one final run.
Okay, we might not make it. We'll try something. About 2 minutes. NASCAR says no. We're all done. Practice over.
Time's also run out for the 66 car. 10 weeks and 1 hour haven't been enough.
You couldn't tell nothing.
None of that helped. If anything, it hurt. If anything, it hurt it.
Hurt further. Yeah, it hurt
Didn't
speed.
do anything for my problem, and it hurt the speed.
All right.
For his part, Rusty Wallace is relaxed and ready, entirely comfortable with his 2 car, as confident as Waltrip is skeptical.
How you doing, buddy? How you been? What's going on, man? Cars? We're doing great. Cars running great. Really good.
Oh, this has been bad.
I'm happy with everything. We're always...
Except you tried to sneak out.
Yeah, we tried to do a little carburetor work and ran out of time, but it's okay. We were really fine. We just wanted to... Yeah, we've been here long enough now that we don't have it ready now, but she's never going to be ready.
I know you probably don't want to hear this, but yesterday, it wasn't like that.
It's always been tight off. Yesterday it wasn't as fast as it is either.
Waltrip and Disharoon brainstorm back in their hauler, the trailer that is a race team shop away from home. With the garages about to close for the night, the 66 needs more than fine-tuning. The crew is already working on a laundry list of modifications, but Waltrip knows that at this stage, there's only so much that can be done.
Trust me, I have sat here on Saturday afternoon and shot myself in the foot way, way too many times. Get ready to race on Sunday. You complain about the car being tight or whatever, and you work on it Saturday night and Sunday morning, and then Sunday you can't drive it.
The work continues. There are more tweaks. The 66 car is still evolving, but it's clear it won't quite get there. With the other garages already empty, there's a silent acknowledgement that no further tinkering will transform the 66 into a winner. Not at Daytona, not this year. One of the perks of driving for Felix Sabates? Dinner the night before the race on his yacht, the Monte Carlo. Sterling Marlin and Joe Nemechek arrive with their wives. And with the garages closed, Todd Parrott heads to Souvenir Alley to sign autographs.
There you go.
All right, thank you very much. This is my first autograph.
Cool.
Back at his mobile home in the infield, Parrott and his family sit down for dinner. Cheerios for son Chandler, good luck pasta for Todd and Debbie. A simple comfort at the start of a restless night.
I'll be sleeping and think of something that we could do to make our car just a little bit better, and it's the Daytona 500. Happens once a year. This is our Super Bowl, and we got to make sure we've done everything that we possibly can do, and if it means me waking up in the middle of the night and getting up and turning on the lights and waking Debbie up and getting all my notes out and looking at something, then that's what I'll do.
It will be a short night. Race day comes early at Daytona. Next, we'll be back when they open the garage.
Mom, look at that. That is the one I want.
Sweetie.
Everybody's got one.
We can't get that now.
Come on.
Honey, what did I say?
Check this out.
No.
I haven't gotten a toy in
No.
so long. Come on.
No.
I have to get that.
Little kids get what they want.
Sweetie.
Shouldn't you?
Okay.
Yes.
Introducing Solara, an entirely different kind of Camry. It's for you.
Put on your best suit, your finest shoes. You are cordially invited to Lobster Fest at Red Lobster. Indulge in all of your lobster favorites. From delicious lobster appetizers to mouth-watering rock lobster tail at the most casual prices of the year. Escape to Red Lobster for Lobster Fest today.
The feel of smart design is the feel of flexibility. Schick Tracer FX is the only razor that flexes to cover every sensitive curve. A design so smart, you can feel it. Schick, the feel of smart design.
It is more than a trial by fire. It is a rite of passage. And if you can master your fear, outsmart your enemy, and never yield even to yourself, you will be changed forever. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Big Fights Boxing Hour gives you access to the largest boxing library in the world. Sit ringside for the best fights in history by calling 1-800-CLASSIC to get ESPN Classic. Here's what you can check out in this library. Rare footage of classic fighters, hard-hitting fights you can't see anywhere else, and volumes of the greatest action in boxing history. But to see Big Fights Boxing Hour, you've got to get ESPN Classic. Call 1-800-CLASSIC today.
Oh, it froze up.
Woo! Woo! It's 6 in the morning, and race day can't wait for the sun to rise.
Good morning.
Guys.
I'm suffering today.
How you doing, sir? Thank you.
Happy Valentine's
We didn't pay that much for the baby. Are you ready for it?
Man, I've been ready for a damn month now.
60 even, did you say?
Yes.
This is the longest 3 hours in the world. You're the man.
I'm gonna give it hell.
On the front line, man. That's where we're at, right here on the front line in Daytona.
Great American race.
Exactly right.
Sure, go to check in a little bit. Drivers meeting at 10:15.
You're the greatest bunch of drivers in the world, and the whole world's going to be watching today. So let's use good judgment. Good luck to each and every one of you.
When you hear me have the opportunity today to say those 4 most powerful words in auto racing, I say them from the heart.
Father, we come to you with many, many thanks in our hearts for allowing us to be a part of this great event today. Thank you for all the sponsors that have gathered here to enjoy this day.
Good luck, man. You too.
Feels pretty good. Fits better than the ones we had made for us.
Good luck, Barney. Good luck.
Maybe it's God's song.
I did not have sex with that woman.
Stand by, please. Mics are hot.
Check. 1, 2, 1, 2, driver. Can't win this thing. Get us to top 5. Okay. Just keep your heads together. Stay focused during the whole 500 miles.
Hello and welcome to Motor Racing Network's coverage of the 41st Daytona 500.
For the beauty of the earth and for the glory of the skies, Lord, to thee our hearts arise. And the home of the brave.
Next, the Daytona 500. Like you've never seen it, like you've never heard it.
Don't open the damn hood. It's one to go. Darrell, everything looks good, buddy.
If this is you, communications has finally caught up with the way you live. Introducing AT&T Personal Network. All the ways you want to communicate in one network with the same low rate of 10 cents a minute on your calls, even wireless. One bill, one number to call for more personalized service. Just call 1-800-4ATT now or visit our website. AT&T Personal Network. It could change forever the way you communicate. Call 1-800-4ATT now.
Clean up, aisle 5.
We can't afford all this. Timmy, put that towing package back. Didn't our truck come with shocks?
Not the heavy-duty ones.
What size is this?
16-inch.
Need a price check on the 16-inch alloy.
Nobody wants to pay too much for options. That's why 4Runners come with a package of our most popular accessories discounted up to $900. Extra value packages, available on all 4Runner models.
I'm going to the movies. Hey.
Philips high-definition home theater.
A thought for those of you married to your job. Every once in a while, have a fling with your husband. Royal Caribbean, like no vacation on earth.
A great tradition reborn on ESPN2, Friday Night Fights. This week it's a battle of the top light heavyweights. Telesco takes on Harding, plus a Floyd Patterson retrospective. Friday Night Fights, Friday at 9 on ESPN2. Gentlemen, start
Yeah! These are things you dream about when you're 9 years old.
Here they come off of turn number 4, getting ready to start the Great American Race.
Green flag, green flag.
The green flag is in the air, and the Daytona 500 is underway.
Labonte goes high, Gordon stays low.
Jeff Gordon will reassume the lead after leading the first lap. Bobby Labonte was out front from lap 2 to 15.
Here comes Rusty. Jeremy Mayfield drafts in behind him as they race into the corner.
New leader in the Daytona 500, Dale Jarrett made an inside move on Bobby Labonte to take over the top spot for the first time today.
Lap 50. Anytime in the next 3 laps, Rusty, just sit with the leaders.
57, all pit road.
56 out there, 57
here. 57 here.
Okay.
Here comes Rusty Wallace into the pits right now.
5, 4, 3.
Teammates Rusty Wallace and Jeremy Mayfield pitting together. 4 tire stops for both of these fours.
The leader at the moment is Dale Jarrett.
Get him high all the way. Good job, guys.
In a land rush, Dale Jarrett, Jeff Gordon, Mike Skinner, all of them on pit road.
4 tires. Let's have a good stop now.
Sterling Martin is in right now. They make a chance just, but they change all 4 tires. Rusty goes to the high side. Jarrett still winding up that Ford power plant. Rusty Wallace swings by him with the top spot.
See if you can get a good year, guys, to come and look. Our tires are coming apart. Hit a flat tire when we come in.
They're all chasing Rusty
This was flapping.
Dale Jarrett trying to get around Rusty Wallace. It won't pay off. He's back in line.
He said he'd like to lead a few, but that's in case you get bored. No, I'm not bored at all. Don't open the damn hood. It's one to go.
Use your radio. If you want to talk to me, I can't read signs. Use your radio and talk to me. Calm down is what he needs to do. You'll get used to it. That's his hand.
Just about to put 104 laps on the scoreboard.
Coming into turn number 2, Dale Jarrett goes to the high side. He's going for the lead up alongside Rusty Wallace.
I believe Ford has fixed their error problems.
He's going to the bottom of you. To the bottom of you.
Down low, here comes Mayfield. As Rusty just slipped up maybe a half a groove.
God damn it, Jeremy.
Problems now, middle of the field. Dale Jarrett breaks 3.
Real easy. Pretty big, but it's 3. Got a hell of a crash down there.
Down here. We slipped. Yeah. He's moving.
It's all right.
Dale came down on him. Bob told me it's clear.
No, Bob didn't tell him it was clear.
My car.
I don't know who turned 88, but he turned out across the apron.
See that? Oh, he.
28 got it.
28
hit
him.
Get him. Where's the rest of the field at?
We're about to put 151 laps on the board. That'll give us 49 to go here at Daytona.
Now Rusty Wallace says it's my turn to go back to the point. Down to the inside of Skinner. He'll race into turn 3.
You go through the highs, lowest of lows. And, we worked hard all winter long. all week long, had a great race car, and now it's sitting over there in the pile. Got to go back home on a flatbed.
He just wants my day. He wants my day. I know. Both of my cars out. I know. It pisses me off.
Oh, trouble in the back straightaway. One car bounces off the wall, heads down to turn 3.
Only 2 for Waltrip, 4 for Gordon, 4 for Earnhardt.
The big issue right now, Rusty Wallace and Jeremy Mayfield stay on the racetrack.
You know, I really didn't. I figured it'd be half of them would pit, but not all of them.
Nobody's going to give you anything these last 20 laps, and it may get a little physical. 16 laps to go. Rusty Wallace, Jeremy Mayfield are the front 2.
Here's Jeff Gordon going to try and take second away from Dale Earnhardt, take the lead away from Rusty Wallace if he can.
Still 3 wide for the lead. Gordon low. Wallace in the middle. Skinner up high.
I don't think anybody has ever seen anything like we're witnessing here in the final laps. 10 to go. Gordon down to the inside. In the middle is Rusty Wallace. Outside is Mike Skinner.
Gordon goes as low as he can on the racetrack. He and Skinner down side by side for the top spot. Meanwhile, Rusty Wallace has fallen back to 8th.
Gordon comes to the line. White flag. 1 lap to go.
Gordon holds low off 4. Here's Earnhardt on the apron. Gordon moves low to block. They come to the tri-oval. Earnhardt will not be able to do anything with him. Jeff Gordon wins the Daytona 500 for a second time.
We ended up 21st, buddy. Good job.
Yeah, good job, everybody. I've got something to work on. You know, we've got something to work with here.
I just never dreamed that I would have got shoved from 1st to 8th in 11 laps and going from everybody's hero to everybody's hobo right now. So that happened, though.
Well, you need to go to Rockingham next week and just do it in Rockingham.
Forget all about history.
Yep, we forgot about this one. This was history. This was history.
Peace, brother.
Been a good week. I'm ready to go home.
This February on Time Warner Communications pay-per-view.
It's what we call a global killer. Nothing would survive, not even bacteria.
Are these our final days?
The United States government just asked us to save the world. Anybody want to say no? Think we'll get hazard pay out of this?
Earth's darkest day.
Do you think I'm gonna quit?
Will be man's finest hour.
We never quit!
Armageddon. Non-stop suspense is easy to order on Time Warner Communications pay-per-view.
My fellow Americans, like George Washington, I cannot tell a lie. So for the lowest prices of the year, don't miss Sit and Sleep's President's Week sale. With Simmons, Sealy, Serta, and Spring Air queen-size mattress sets selling at department stores for up to $6.99, now just $3.97. Save $300 plus no deposit, no interest, and no payments till August, and no sales tax. Sit and Sleep now in Ontario Upland. Call 800-675-3536. I'll beat anyone's advertised price, so your mattress is free!
Sports Century's Top 50 Athletes, a year-long celebration. Number 46, Eric Heiden, Friday at 10:30 on ESPN, presented by General Motors.
A happy action fun time on ESPN. It's college basketball season, my friend. Happy action fun time on ESPN.
Outside the Line, Days of Daytona, is presented by AT&T Personal Network. Communications has finally caught up with the way you live. And in part by Toyota Trucks, with you for the long haul.
For all the excitement, for all the prestige, for all the everything that comes with the Daytona 500, the reality is that in the Winston Cup point standings, it's just another race, with 33 more to go. For Outside the Lines, I'm Steve Cyphers.
This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, a part of the Go Network. Go.com.
Hi, everybody. I'm Al Bernstein, and you're watching a special preview of ESPN Classic Sports here on ESPN2. Classic